Bienvenidos. Hey guys, we are about to go in to our very first fertility appointment here in Ecuador. Are you excited? Yeah, you want to hold that. No way, Jose. But we did find an RE, or a reproductive endocrinologist, here in Cuenca, and we made our first appointment. It's just like a consultation, and we also went ahead and hired an interpreter. We did go ahead and hire an interpreter. It's just a young girl who is a college student who is going to be interpreting for us. She does it for some of the missionaries we know here, so that'll be really cool. But yeah, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. We were both pretty nervous like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm feeling nervous. I'm just feeling nervous. Like, I called our old fertility clinic and they said that it would take weeks to get my medical records. It's something I should have done before we left, but I just didn't do it. So yeah, I'm a little nervous that they're going to require my medical records instead of just kind of hearing from our mouths what we did last time. I'm nervous about the language barrier, but again, we have an interpreter, but those things can still be kind of tricky. But yeah. Hey guys, so we had our first appointment today, and I think it went pretty well. I took that interpreter, her name is Leslie, with us, and there's no way I could have done it without her. It was super helpful. I think it did make the process go a little bit slower, just, you know, having to translate everything, but let's see. So the doctor went ahead and did a ultrasound just to count my antral follicles and take a look at my uterus, and he counted 10 antral follicles. He said by looking at my history and my ovary, he thinks we're gonna get about 18 eggs, and he said after everything fertilizes and is said and done, he suspects that we'll have about 8 embryos to work with, which would be awesome, but who knows once we actually do things. We are gonna do another antagonist protocol, which is what we did to have Abram. They don't use Lupron at all at this office, so we're doing another antagonist protocol. They did say if for some reason this IVF doesn't work, they do give about $1,000 discount for your next IVF. So that's good news. So what's next for us is I have to start my period, and once I do, I'm gonna go in for a day 3 blood work. So just things like my thyroid, my LH, my FSH, and my E2 levels. They're gonna check all of that. And around cycle day 8 through 12, they want me to come in for a hydro ultrasound, which is where they're gonna kind of put water in my uterus. They're gonna take a look around and see what instruments they want to use for the transfer and where they're gonna actually place the embryo. And then Jeremy has to do a sperm analysis just to make sure everything's still looking good.
Make sure the boys are in order.
You don't want to see him right now. He looks ridiculous. Let's see if I can show him heads up.
Don't. I'm naked.
Jeremy came home from going to the park and playing with Abram and took off his shirt, so he can't be in the video. And this guy is a mess from eating dinner. Abram, hey, are you a mess? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
A cute mess. So that's all. Like, I'm getting ready to start my period here in, I mean, any day now. And then we do all of that. And he said when I start my next cycle, so about 28 to 30 days from now, we start stimulation. We start IVF. So we're looking at an October retrieval and transfer, which means a July baby. Abram's a July baby. And so we would love to have them. I know. Do you want a brother or sister? I think that means brother. Rah, rah, rah. I think that means brother. Rah.
Yeah.
He's crazy. Yeah, brother. Blah, blah, blah. He's being so cute, I can't help but show you guys. He's in such a good mood. Brother. Yeah. So anyway, gosh, it's happening again. I know Jeremy and I both are just like, we can't believe it's happening again, right?
Right.
Right. I'm gonna He's holding a toy to shield his body. What are you thinking, babe?
I'm thinking thoughts of eagerness.
Eagerness? Like you're excited for it to happen?
Very excited for it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, thoughts. Really excited about the thought of that we may get to expand our family.
Yeah.
You know, I always say may just because it's so hard to believe that Abram's even ours. We've had him for 13 months outside of the womb now.
Yeah.
And it still feels like that was yesterday and that he's not ours.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool that we're going back to do the same process over again.
Yeah.
Expecting some great results.
Yeah. Definitely hopeful. Do you feel hopeful?
I feel hopeful, indeed.
Good.
Yeah.
I did ask him how many embryos he recommends we transfer, already knowing that in my mind, we're pretty much set on one. And after he did the ultrasound, looked at our history and talked about everything, because we got 21 eggs last time, but only ended up with one really good embryo, he was like, if that's the case again, and because of your age this time, that you are over 30 now, he goes, I may recommend 2. Before we did the ultrasound and talked about history, he's like 1, definitely 1. And then when we talked about the history and what kind of quality embryos we ended up with, and the only 1 survived, he said we may talk about 2. So that makes me a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I want to trust him. And I do have some feelings of remorse from our last cycle, not putting 2 in and knowing that none of the other embryos made it to freeze. So one of the great things about this doctor is that the price literally includes everything. So at our old fertility clinic, we paid kind of a lump sum, but then we also had to pay for medicine. And if we ended up needing more medicine, we'd have to reorder it and pay for that. If we needed ultrasounds, we had to pay for those. We needed blood work, we had to pay for those. This clinic's great because you pay 1 fee, which here is $5,000, and it covers everything. So if I end up needing more medicine, it's just included. The only thing I can say that I'm a little bit, you guys are a distraction. The only other thing I can say I'm a little bit apprehensive about is that he did say he wants to put me on 300 units of Gonal F every single day. And last time I was only on 150 units of Gonal F and 75 units of Minipure. So that's quite a high dose, and it makes me a little nervous that I'm gonna overstimulate or hyperstimulate. And so I asked him if he's like, no, we're gonna avoid that, we're gonna avoid that. But it still makes me a little nervous. The other thing too is that last time I was on, I had a Lupron trigger, which was great because they didn't have any HCG in my system and I could go ahead and do early pregnancy testing. This time they are doing an HCG trigger, so I will have HCG in my system and I won't be able to really test super early. So that's a bummer, but also might be a good thing so that I can't obsess and just keep taking test. So that's a lot of information, but I just wanted to throw all of that out there. That's everything we learned today at the fertility clinic. I think I like them, but again, it's hard to know because they speak a completely different language. And I even asked our interpreter when he stepped out of the room, I go, is he nice? And she said, yeah, he's nice, but he's serious, you know. He's an older gentleman and he's the only doctor at that office. I think he's probably in his 60s. So he's definitely had some years of experience at this, and he did have like an American Academy, some kind of award. He did go to school in the US, but he went to like a Spanish speaking school, so he doesn't speak English. He did say like, I wish I could speak English, and I was like, I know, I wish I could speak Spanish. So that was interesting. But do we really need more kids when we have you? Anyway, all right guys, I'm gonna let you go. I will keep you posted on this whole process. I will chat with you later. Bye.